Hi, everyone. It's Friday, and so I am here, Marsha Grace, your modern meditation mentor. And first, I have a very important question, and that is, do you like my new glasses? I am free to see. I am so excited because these glasses are working great for me, and I can see again after having a couple of months of not being able to drive or read or anything. So I am so happy. Anyway, but I don't really use them so much when I'm close up. So I'm going to take them off because they're basically for distance. Anyway, this weekend, most people in the United States are celebrating the 4th of July, barbecues and parties, and I'm going to one, and, just having a good time celebrating the birth of a new country, right? We're freedom from Britain in 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th. And so it's a cause for celebration, right? And we generally think of freedom as being able to speak our minds. And boy, can people speak their minds today, right? We can go wherever we want. We don't have to carry tickets or passports to go from New York to California or someplace, or Idaho, or wherever we want to go. And we can see and hang out with whomever we want. There are no restrictions on our movements around the country or with people that we want to be with. So that, in other words, we have the political, the physical, and the social aspects of freedom. That's what we generally think of, right? But of course, I I like to think about freedom from another perspective, a spiritual perspective. And, because true freedom incorporates all of those other things, of course, but even more. And it is the ultimate stress reliever, true freedom. And that includes things like a sense of liberation, freedom from our ego. Our ego is not our friend. That's what A Course in Miracles teaches. Our ego is not our friend. It's protective. It'll try to save us from what it considers dangerous situations. But usually and often in the long run, those situations are not dangerous at all. And they hold us back. So because the ego is driven by fear. And when you're in a fear state, you're already restricted in the way you think. So those desires, we make up all kinds of illusions about what's really happening. And all of those things limit our perception of this true situation. And it creates a sense of separation from ourselves, from our true self, from other people, and from, happiness in the world. So the ego is not our friend, and we don't really want to pay too much attention to it. At least I don't. Okay. Another thing that we want to be free from is free from suffering. And here's where the ego is really, really excellent at creating situations that cause us to feel miserable and horrible. Guilt. Right? We feel guilty about we did this, we did that. Oh, why did I do this? And what are they going to think? And we have all of these crazy thoughts. And usually nobody's thinking those things at all, but we make it up. And so we suffer as a result. So true freedom relinquishes our need to suffer. And because again, we tend to think of suffering as painful, and it is painful, but it's psychically, mentally painful. That's the kind of pain that trickles down. Talk about a trickle-down effect. That trickles down into our bodies. When you have enough stress from guilt and fear, it's going to do a number on your body. All those hormones that are released because you're nervous, you're anxious, you're this, you're that, get released into the body, and then they play havoc on your organs, on your systems, and you get stomach issues, and God knows, worse. I'm not even going to mention what, but you know what I mean. So there's those things. And another thing that our spiritual freedom gives us is the freedom to recognize we have choices. Our ego says, no, 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 you must stay away. You must watch out. You must, it tells you all these things. But our spiritual freedom, our inner guidance says to us, wait a minute, let's consider the possibilities here, right? And so we have a freedom of choice that we never really realized we had before, because we weren't willing to allow ourselves to open, to expand our mind about it. So freedom of choice is really, really important. And that includes freedom from this dualistic thinking, because it's either left brain, right brain, it's good or it's bad, yes or no, dualistic, right? It's hot, it's cold, and there's so much in between those two things, right? We could, hot and cold, you've got all levels of warm and cool in between, right? And so we want to acknowledge those things, because somewhere along that continuum is a place of comfort for us, is a place of safety and of feeling right in your body, in your mind, in your spirit. So that dualistic thinking got to go. And then freedom comes from, as I said, from an expansive mind. You realize, and this again, very important, you realize that my happiness depends on other people being happy. That's really so crucial to my happiness, is to know that other people are happy. Now, that doesn't mean that I, deny myself things for other people to be happy. We don't have to sacrifice for others to be happy. Never. That should never be part of the equation. The idea is to find your inner strength, your inner abilities that you can share with other people, so that you make them happy and you're happy too, because you're sharing what you are and who you are. So it's a beautiful thing when we expand our consciousness and we allow ourselves to see the joy that's all around us every moment. Because another aspect of this idea of freedom comes from the idea of being in the moment. We're not free when our mind is focused in the past. We're thinking about, oh, why did I do that? Why did this happen? And woe is me. Or we're worried about the future. Oh my God, this could happen, that could happen. No, that's not freedom. That's pain and suffering. We don't want that. We want happiness and joy right now. And that's what you can have when you allow yourself the freedom to be in the present moment, to let the past go. Don't worry about the future. It'll take care of itself. Because if you're in the right place in this moment, what's going to happen is you are going to hear your inner guidance. It's going to tell you what to do so that the future will be smooth sailing. That's what'll happen. And so, in other words, you're living in alignment with your spiritual values, the values that nurture and expand on peace, on joy, on companionship, on love, and on acceptance. We can accept other people. We have the freedom to accept other people as they are. We don't have to change anybody. We can just love them the way they are, or, go somewhere else. You're free to do that, right? You don't have to hang out in a situation that's uncomfortable. And I know I'm oversimplifying this whole situation. However, if you hang out with me and learn about the principles of A Course in Miracles, or learn my morning meditation to start, certainly that would be very, very helpful. Because when you start your day consciously and intentionally by preparing yourself, 15 minutes, that's all it takes. You can spend more time if you want to, but 15 minutes is all it takes. And in that 15 minutes, you start your day in a totally different frame of mind, where you're feeling responsible, you're feeling prepared, you're feeling calm, all the good stuff. So if you're interested and you want to know more, just go to marshagrace.com. And you'll see some interesting things there. Get my free guided meditations, just hit me up. So, so let me hear from you, and please come back again next week and have a joyous and happy holiday, whatever you may be doing. All right, bye bye for now.